Welcome to Geek Buzz. I'm Nixie Pixel, here to talk about nerdy stuff that tickles my neurotransmitters, kind of like how my cold is tickling my nose right now, and I'm kind of having hot flashes. Regardless, I'm powering through it because I gotta show you guys my top 5 games that I saw at E3, and I think you're really gonna love them. So, here we go.
Brought to you by Netflix.
Number 5. I've been waiting for a real proper SimCity remake forever. Since I was a wee lass, I've played the demo of Cities XL, which sucked, and I've basically been flirting with Tropico for a really long time, and there's always been just something really empty about it, like missing, I guess. I even got the most recent City Simulator in Anno 2070, and it's just not for me. I just want to be a little mayor of my little city. Well, Maxis is back after a decade, and they're here for the reboot of SimCity. Finally! With this new game, they're talking about getting rid of all the spreadsheets as far as like how your city's doing and actually use like Google Map-esque type infographics. You still get to monitor your water, your pollution, power, so on and so forth, and all of that is going to happen in real time. It's their whole model is you see we sim. So with their new engine, Glassbox engine, you're going to see your city as it's being literally built in real time, which is cool. So the traffic jams, they're not going to be simulated as much as they're actually being reflected by the engine. So that's really crazy, and I'm excited to see that. The things that I'm not really used to in a SimCity is kind of that getting down to the nitty-gritty. Normally in SimCity you kind of had that God mode level where you saw it really kind of top down, but with this new one you can zoom in to each sim and see where they're headed, how happy they are. You can see protests, so I guess I can never escape protests like in Tropico. But you can see their wants and needs if you care about that sort of thing, and if you don't, you can build a thriving metropolis that dumps raw sewage into the water lines and basically causes all the trees to die, all in real time. And actually, the really interesting thing about it is you also affect your surrounding cities, which are comprised of real live people. I know what you're thinking, simulation is a very private experience, at least it was for me. So Maxis has addressed that. You're able to build your cities up to your heart's content without worrying about anyone spying on you, or you can open it up for other people to come and play. As far as the types of cities you can build, the list goes on and on. You can have a tourist-based city, or you could decide to go the more industrial, like Detroit route, and have a lot of blue-collar stuff going on, put, wind turbines on and actually capitalize on the wind power, so you can have like a nice little hippie city. And I guess the coolest thing about this is you can invite your friends over and collaborate on something really awesome for all of your cities. Say you want to build a regional airport to bring in tons of tourism and lots of moolah. You can do that. SimCity is coming to you, PC users, February 2013, and it's going to be for Origin. Origin? No! Number 4. Can you think of a massively multiplayer shooter type game that really took off? I mean, APB, I love the hell out of that game, but it tanked and became free to play. And Tabula Rasa? Is that still even around? Wait, Nixie, you can't forget about PlanetSide from 2003. Yes, PlanetSide, how could I forget? Light infantry, heavy infantry, little tanks, big tanks, ATVs, anti-tanks. Really, I mean, all-out war. There's a difference between a battle and a war, and PlanetSide was definitely an epic war. Now with the sequel, they're doing something a little bit different. They're making it free to play, but supposedly it's not pay to win. Meaning every aspect of the game that you can buy using real money, you can also earn through experience and resources that way. PlanetSide 2 is supposed to be bigger and even more badass. The devs say that the maps are going to be like 64 kilometers big with 1,000 players to each side. Can you imagine it being you and 900 of your buddies fighting the other team. That's just unreal. I love it. It's actually really hard for me to accept because that's just a massive amount of data that's happening, and supposedly there's no instancing. So there's no loading screen. You take that base, you capture that region, and it's yours until someone comes and takes it back. And you may be thinking, that sucks because I don't want to just be like sitting there defending my region, you know? Well, you have squads, and this is what I'm really excited about because I was hoping for it in Battlefield 3, but I waited forever for nothing. Anyway, this is your platoon. Your platoon is comprised of 30 people, 3 of which are squad leaders, and each squad leader sends orders down to 9 of their squad members. So this is insane because you have that ranking, and within your platoon you can actually make more platoons to create guilds, and that's kind of developing that full-scale war that we're talking about. Number 3. I know there were a lot of skeptics when Borderlands came out. I personally love the duality of kind of a role-playing game with a first-person shooter. I think it's a genius concept, and I also love the fact that it's set in like this cartoon world, though everything was really brown, wasn't it? Well, you know the Borderlands team likes statistics, though. They're going 80% less brown and a bajillion% more guns, which I think you guys already knew. You're still in that comic book-like feel. This time, you have 4 new characters, and I know you're probably thinking, oh, I like my Brick, or, I like my Lilith. And they're still there. They're still NPCs, and you run missions with them in the game. Same with Claptrap. This is actually really cool. Well, all the Claptraps have died. I guess that's not that great, except one. And that one you hang out with all the time. So all new characters, kind of the same classes. The classes have more variety to them, thank God. That was one of my big complaints, was it seemed no matter what you do, you're still kind of the same static type. So it's supposedly 30% more skills, which is a good thing. You're gonna need those skills when you come in contact with Handsome Jack. He is the arch villain that kind of parked his moon base up around the Borderlands. And speaking of Borderlands, the world is open now, which is phenomenal, by the way. I don't know if you remember, if you played, you try to meander past, and there's still an invisible wall, essentially vaporizes you. Well, they did away with the vaporization, and it's all an amazing, open environment. Number 2. I am brimming with excitement for this one. I have played all of David Cage's previous titles, Omar Khan the Nomad Soul with David Bowie, Fahrenheit, or you guys may know it as Indigo Prophecy, and the newest one that was announced at E3, Beyond Two Souls. If you've played any of those titles that I mentioned, you know that Quantic Dream, the games they make, are a mindfuck. Psychological thrillers. But this game, seriously, is about Jodie Holmes, who since she was born had this entity that was supernatural that she had to live and grow with and kind of figure out if she could trust it. And so that's what the whole journey is about. Aiden is what she named this entity, and her journey and all the confrontation that she has because she's totally a different girl. Did I mention they were able to recruit Ellen Page for the role of the protagonist? Do you know Ellen Page? Juno? Yeah, that Ellen Page. And I often get when in reference to Quantic Dreams games that it's like, oh, it's a glorified choose your own adventure book. For the record, I fucking love choose your own adventure books, but honestly, Cage said there's absolutely no cutscenes, or there are cutscenes, but they're just 1 or 2. The rest, it's just seamlessly, you're living the movie. What more could you want? I mean, they used the facial recognition that James Cameron had on his face for Avatar. Can you beat that? I don't think so. I'm not trying to defend my boyfriend David Cage or anything, but he did say, I'm much more interested in what happens in your mind than what you do with your thumbs. Perfect! I'm a PC gamer anyway. Seriously, David, if you didn't already have babies, I would have your babies. Numero uno. Did you know as we speak, in Chicago, there's 10,000 security cameras that can not only track you from one camera to another, but it can zoom so far in that it can read what you've written on a piece of paper? Well, with this upcoming game, Watch Dogs, you can tap into all that. Their motto is, everything is connected and connection is power. The main character that you play has kind of the Punisher syndrome. You know, a lot of bad stuff happened in the past, so he's out to get revenge. Well, he just so happens to be pretty brutish, so he can punch the crap out of things, use weapons, and he's also smart enough to hack. Phones, emails, conversations, you name it, stoplights. And it's in the works that you'll be able to control that system, or CTOS, not just on your PC, Xbox, or PS3, but also your tablet or your smartphone. The developers are keeping their cards pretty close to their chest on this one, but I can say that it's an open world, and that the main guy, he's not designed to be good or bad. That's something that you choose. You know, does he use his powers for good or evil? I mean, what would you do if you had the whole infrastructure of a city at your fingertips? How would you control it? Let me know in a comment or video response below. Thanks for watching this episode of Geek Buzz Cold and Cough Edition. I make more normal videos every Wednesday, usually about gaming and tech, so if you hit that subscribe button, you'll be able to tune in on all the madness. Until next time, talk nerdy to you later. Oh boy. I'm so glad I caught that on camera. Now it's time to help pay my bills. Netflix streams TV shows and movies straight to your home, saving you time, money, and hassle. My friends and I just made a drinking game where we'd watch Labyrinth on Netflix and drink every time we saw David Bowie's crotch. We got wasted. As a Netflix Unlimited member, you can instantly watch on your PC, Mac, or right on your TV with your Xbox 360, PS3, or Nintendo Wii console. And of course, cancel anytime you feel like going on that 3-month journey to the Arctic Circle. For a limited time, get a free 30-day trial membership when you go to netflix.com/geekbuzz and sign up now. Be sure to use that URL so they know I sent you.